What second-year players are poised to break out this year? What training camp stories are actually true, including Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders? And what teams have the most pressure on them to win an NFL ring this year? I'm going to talk about that all today here on another episode of Monday Morning Football. I'm McGarren Hart. Good morning to everybody. Let's have a great week this week. Obviously it's Monday, but let's get into it. Obviously the NFL season had a great start to it. Haynes King walk-off touchdown in the preseason Hall of Fame game. The Georgia Tech product. It was a back-and-forth game all game, but the Panthers, they just never stopped fighting. And Haynes King in the final seconds, walk-off touchdown. So that was amazing to see. A great way to just start the season off. We're getting a little taste of football. More preseason football coming this week. But let's get into the rest of the video. So from my 5 players, there are going to be 5 players I'm going to list that I have as breakout candidates this year for second-year players. At number 5, I'm going to start off with a player who obviously plays both ways of the ball. He got hurt last year, but he's back this year. He's looking much bigger. Travis Hunter, I'm thinking, is going to have a great breakout year. Not just on defense, but on offense. He already has said that he plans to play all snaps of the game. Do not take this man off the field. He's a two-way stud. He's a great athlete. He put on more bulk to be able to probably sustain more injury. So I'm looking at Travis Hunter having a big breakout year for the Jags. Jags was a team who did good last year. They can do even better there if they got their two-way star that they spent a lot of draft capital on. So that's who I have at number 5, Travis Hunter. Obviously, he didn't play a lot last year, so he would have been higher if he did. But anywho, on to number 4. I have Matthew Golden, a guy who was frustrated a lot last year, wasn't getting touchdowns, felt like he was open, got missed sometimes, but this is a great player. He has a lot of speed. He can run routes. He's kind of going to take Romeo Doubs' spot at the X role for the Green Bay Packers. I expect him to have a great year. Obviously, they already have Jordan Love, who plays great for them. So he's going to get him the ball. And I think Matthew Golden is actually going to have a much better year than he did last year. He was one of my favorite receivers in the draft going into it last year. And I think now is his time where he's learned a lot. He's going to have a bigger role. So he's poised to have a breakout year. At number 3, I have Tyler Show. I love this quarterback. I was like, why did they take a quarterback who's so old last year? But let me just tell you, this guy has talent. He has speed. He has an arm. He plays with poise. And guess what? They just brought him a new weapon, Jordan Tyson, who I think could just be the best receiver in this draft. I'll have a later video breaking down my top 5 rookie receivers. But as of right now, Jordan Tyson might be the best. But anywho, they have Tyson next to Olave. They brought in Travis Etienne. They did just lose a piece of their O-line, but hopefully they can regroup there. Other than that, that Saints offense looks loaded and ready for Tyler Show to just be the centerpiece to get everything going for New Orleans, where they can possibly win that NFC South. So at number 2, I have a player who I begged the Pittsburgh Steelers to take last year. I love this player going into the draft, and I think this year is going to be a great year for him. He had Luther Burden last year. End of the year, he started playing much better. You started to see his explosiveness. You can start to see how big of a playmaker he can be, how he can get open. And now DJ Moore is gone, so a huge void is left on the Chicago Bears to fill that wide receiver role. Obviously, they have Roma Duze, who's also going to be competing for that role. But now Luther Burden is going to take a much bigger role. Instead of being wide receiver 3, he's fighting for wide receiver 1. And obviously they have Loveland, who will be fighting for snaps and reps too, and receptions. But I think Luther Burden is going to have a huge year for them. I think he honestly is going to fight Roma Duze for that one spot, and he could be their slot. Their Ben Johnson had a lot of success with Amon Brown, so he could be even better than Amon Brown in my personal eyes. So Luther Burden is my number 2, and at number 1. This player was the number 1 overall pick last year. Obviously, it's harder to say a number 1 pick is breaking out in their second year, but Cam Ward didn't have the best year last year. He finished much better, but I think that was usually due to his supporting cast, and now they drafted him a receiver in the top 5, Cardinal Tate, who I think is definitely a top 2 receiver in this past draft, and he's going to help take a lot of pressure off Cam Ward's hand. They obviously brought in Wan'Dale Robinson as well, and I like that Elliott receiver from Stanford. I think he'll actually end up getting a lot better, and he can be a weapon for Cam Ward as well. So I expect Cam Ward, now that he has his new weapons, his O-line improves a little bit, I expect him to have a breakout year where he can just turn it up for the Tennessee Titans, and maybe they can go from being such a bad team to a mid-team this year. We're going to see. So those are my 5 breakout players for the year. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you got a player that I probably missed in the second year that might break out. But just let me know what you think. Anywho, on to the next. Let's talk about what's going on in training camp. First of all, we got Maxx Crosby and Kirk Cousins fighting. Apparently, Maxx Crosby was hitting Kirk Cousins' arm in a no-contact drill where you're not supposed to take the touch the quarterback. Kirk Cousins did not like that. Got all in Maxx Crosby's face. I don't think he realized Maxx Crosby be fighting with Mr. Strickland. So maybe he should leave that one alone instead of grabbing his jersey. But anywho, they're not going to end up fighting anyway. Both players ended up getting in trouble. They didn't practice the next day. So I think all things will be well. Obviously, just tensions got high. 2 vets, high egos. Everything should be all good now. Nothing to worry about in Las Vegas. Next up, we got the quarterback battle going on in Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders versus Deshaun Watson. Most of the stat graphics are showing that Shedeur Sanders is having better completion percentages, but as of right now, Deshaun Watson is apparently the leader in the race. He is projected to be the quarterback 1 on the Cleveland Browns. They obviously spent a lot of draft capital and money and assets to bring in Deshaun Watson, so they kind of have to see their vision through, even though it hasn't looked as good the past few years. But you got to give it another shot. Shedeur obviously is their potential guy. They're really hoping he gets better. If he just gets that ball out quicker, which I think he could be great. He just really has to get a little bit quicker with his processing, because you don't have all day in the NFL. You can't hold the ball, but he does have a good chance at start. My opinion, I think Shedeur Sanders should start the whole year. We've seen enough with Deshaun Watson. Just let his contract ride out. Let him be a mentor. Let me not say that. Not mentor Shedeur, but let's just say he can help a little bit with Shedeur. I think he should win that job. Next up, we have the Laremy Tunsil injury. Washington Commanders just paid their left tackle a big contract, over 30, I think around $30 million a year, and he just went out for the year. Apparently he was doing one-on-one drills and had a season-ending injury. So the Commanders, who have so much potential after their NFC conference run, they just have been getting hit with injuries year after year, well, the last 2 years, and that's honestly, I think, is a huge loss for them. They brought in Laremy Tunsil in the first place to make sure Jaden Daniels had that protector on his blind side, to make sure he wasn't getting hit all the time, to make sure he wasn't getting hurt, and him going out is just a huge loss for them, because they need their centerpiece of their O-line to pretty much hold things down and keep Jaden Daniels up and to be able to have success in this NFC conference. So that was a tough loss for them, unfortunately, but let's see if Washington can bounce back. Next up, let's talk about my 5 teams that have the most pressure on them this year. These teams must get it done because time is running out, or they just gotta win the Super Bowl this year. At number 5, I'm gonna start off with the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans is a team that I think should have had a good chance at a Super Bowl last year. Their defense was probably the best in the league in my eyes. It was them or the Seahawks, the debate, but that Houston defense was crazy. And when you got an offense to go with the defense, it makes the defense look a lot better. The Houston offense obviously was struggling. The offensive line was struggling, which led to C.J. Stroud struggling. His receivers was out. It was a very tough game for Houston in general. Their defense still kept them in it, but I think they just have a lot of pressure because that defense has historic potential, and pretty much you gotta be able to win games to be on a historic level. So if they end up going far, they can make that defense historic, and it's a lot of pressure on CJ Stroud to kind of bounce back from that playoffs and bring Houston back to relevancy. Another team in the AFC is that number 4. You're gonna see a big trend in the AFC here. We have the Cincinnati Bengals. We have the quarterbacks Joe Burrow and the other 2 we'll name later, who have a lot of pressure on them to win the Super Bowl, which they have not done yet. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has been taking all the Super Bowls from the new generation quarterbacks, and Joe Burrow needs one himself. They just brought in Dexter Lawrence to kind of shore up the defense, which was a huge problem for them the past few years. They still have the best receiver in the league. They have a top wide receiver 2 in the league in T. Higgins. They have the weapons to get it done. It's a lot of eyes on Joe Burrow now that they brought in Dexter Lawrence to help the defense to get this job done for Cincy. So let's see if they handle this pressure well and if they can get a Super Bowl to Cincy. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, this is another quarterback who has a lot of pressure, who faces a lot of scrutiny about possibly folding in the playoffs, not getting the job done, not taking his team all the way despite the team possibly being talented. They have a lot of pressure on them. I don't like what the Ravens do at receiver. They don't bring in Lamar, a bigger receiver who can go get it, but they do have Zay Flowers. They do have Derrick Henry. The O-line needs some work. They got a defense who's supposed to make some noise this year. The Ravens have a lot of pressure on them. It's a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson to deliver. They got rid of their head coach, John Harbaugh. He's now in New York. So now they kind of got to show. Maybe it was Harbaugh's fault and not Lamar, because it was a point in the season where they were pretty much just pinned against each other. So let's see how Baltimore responds. They have a lot of pressure on them to win the Super Bowl this year. Let's see how they respond, though. At number 2, we have the Buffalo Bills, another team that got a lot of scrutiny for folding in the playoffs. Josh Allen has played great, possibly the best player in the league. I would say he's the best player in the league, personally, him or Mahomes, but he can't get it done in the playoffs. And last year was a playoff where he just pretty much folded the game, turnover after turnover after turnover. They still end up scoring a lot of points. Besides the turnovers, he played great, but they didn't get the job done. It was the most wide open the AFC has been for years, and a lot of people thought this was the year Josh Allen would get it done. He didn't get it done. Now they bring in DJ Moore to help Josh Allen possibly get it done, and it's a lot of pressure on the Buffalo Bills to get to the Super Bowl. They also got rid of their head coach. It's a lot of pressure on them to get the job done this year and get Josh Allen his first Super Bowl. And lastly, I have the team that's getting the most hype, so they're going to have the most pressure on them, the Los Angeles Rams. They are obviously brought in Myles Garrett this season. They have a great offense led by Puka, Devontae Adams, and Matthew Stafford. They have Kyron. They have pieces to get the job done. Aaron Donald could potentially return. It is a lot of pressure on Los Angeles Rams to get this Super Bowl this year because Matthew Stafford is only getting older. Devontae Adams is only getting older. If Aaron Donald comes back, you know he might only play 1 year. You never know. So it's a lot of pressure on the Los Angeles Rams to get this Super Bowl this year, and if they don't, it's going to be a lot of eyes on them to see if they're going to blow it up or what are they going to do to rebound off another year where they had high hopes and did not win with a Super Bowl. So that's all I have for today. I'm going to go ahead and give my hot take. My hot take for this week is the New Orleans Saints are going to win that NFC South. I love the Saints. I love what they're building, and I think they have a lot of potential this year. So that is my hot take for today, and thank everybody for watching. Good morning, good night, whatever time you're watching it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, and this is Heart Zone. Thank you for watching. I'm McGarren Hart, and I'm out.